Hi, Math Analysis. This is a quick recap of what we've covered Monday and Tuesday this week in class. So we're going through Chapter 1 as speedily as possible. And yes, we have some Math Excel assignments that are out there. So if you have not gotten your Math Excel access code, you need to email me so I can send you a picture of what you're missing. That would be very helpful. So we're rolling through 1-1, 1-2, and 1-3 this week. Here we've got an equation to solve. This is a rational equation. I like to do these where we think about what's missing in the situation. So if we factor this denominator here, we get x plus 6 times x minus 2. So this is going to be our least common denominator. Now we can see what's missing over here. So on the left-hand side, if we have x plus 6, then we are missing the x minus 2. Whatever we do on the bottom, got to do on the top. And then in the second fraction, if we have x minus 2, then we are missing an x plus 6. And now we've got the common denominator all the way across this equation. We can use it and lose it. Woohoo! Goodbye, 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 goodbye. So now our equation is simply 3 times x minus 2 plus 1 times x plus 6 equals 4. Now, let's solve it using the distributive property. That's 3x minus 6 plus x plus 6 equals 4. 3x, x, 4x, negative 6 plus 6, they cancel, they're zeros. 4x equals 4, x equals 1. Now, before we move on from our answer, yes, obviously you can plug it back in and check it. A quick check is to also think about the restricted values for this particular rational equation. Back, if we look at the factored form of the LCD, we see that x cannot be negative 6 or positive 2. Therefore, if we're getting a value of x equals 1, then we're probably in good shape. So there we go, solving a rational equation. Next, going into solving literal equations for specific variables. So if we're going to solve for r, we're trying to get that r all by itself. So we need to use inverse operations in order to get the r by itself. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to cross multiply to get rid of the fraction. So s times 1 minus r equals 1 times c equals c. When we cross multiply over an equal sign, it allows us to set the cross products equal to each other. So next, remember, we're going after that r. Now that we've raised the r from the denominator up to the numerator, now start undoing what's been done to the r. So first, let's dump the s. And we get 1 minus r equals c over s. Next, we want r by itself. So the easiest thing to do would be to switch places with those two terms, giving us 1 minus c over s equals a positive r. And that is probably the quickest way. 3 steps there to solve for r. Several different other ways that you can do it, but that is definitely one way. In the next one, same type problem, we want to solve for p. We want to isolate the p variable. So let's start by moving that guy over. So we get 1 over p equals 1 over f minus 1 over q. Now, think about what's necessary here. We need to get the p from the denominator up to the numerator. So in order for us to do that, probably the best option is to find a common denominator on the right-hand side and then cross multiply. So if we have 1 over F minus 1 over Q, then we need to multiply this guy by Q, this guy by F, to get FQ on the bottom, and then on the top, Q minus F. Remember, we're trying to get P by itself. So from here, we have a fraction set equal to another fraction. This is another opportunity to cross multiply and set those cross products equal. So 1 times FQ is FQ. P times Q minus F. Resist the urge here to distribute that P. We don't want to do that. We want to isolate the P. So in order to do that, this is P times Q minus F. Let's divide both sides by Q minus F. So that takes us to FQ over Q minus F equals P. Solving for P. That is what we're doing. Solving for a variable within an equation. Next, I have chosen this problem for us because there is a problem in our homework on Math Excel, which everybody should be doing, and we have one very similar to this, so I wanted to take the opportunity to do this problem. This problem is not difficult, it just requires that we read very intentionally. A company wants to increase the 10% peroxide content of its product by adding pure peroxide, which is 100%. If X liters of pure peroxide are added to 500 liters of its 10% solution, the concentration C of the new mixture is given by this model. Remember, C is concentration. X is the number of liters. So C equals X plus 10% of 500. We got that from the first part of the problem, divided by X plus 500, because X is the number of pure liters of peroxide that we're going to be adding. How many liters of pure peroxide should be added to produce a new product? That's 28%. 28% is the concentration that we're trying to get to. So let's use substitution here. So C is 28, but remember, 28% is not a number. A percentage is a rate. Therefore, in order for us to put it in the problem, 28% has to become 0.28. So 0.28 equals X plus 0.1 times 500 over X plus 500. Once again, this is another opportunity to cross multiply. We cross multiply when two fractions are set equal. So let's cross multiply here. 0.28 times X plus 500 equals 1 times X plus 0.1 times 500. 1 times anything is the identity. It just stays that. So now we've got 0.28 times X plus 500, so 0.28 times X, 0.28X, and then 0.28 times 500, 0.28 times 500 is 140 equals X plus 10% of 500 is 50. So this is what the equation turns out to be, which is not challenging. We just have to figure out what to do with this model and what to sub in. So from here, let's solve. So 140 minus 50 equals X minus 0.28X. 140 minus 50 is 90. 1X minus 0.28X is 0.72X. X is 90 divided by 0.72. That is 125. 125 liters of pure peroxide must be added in order to bring the concentration up from 10% to 28%. Next, we talked about percents some more. After a 30% price reduction. You purchase a new computer for $840. What was the computer's price before the reduction? So visualize a pie chart here. And if we are getting a 30% reduction, 30% is what we are not paying, which means what we are paying is 70%. We are going to pay. So this is what's important. That 70% is what's important. Let's write a statement here. The sale price is 70% of the original price. This is what's key here. Understanding if we're not paying 30%, we are paying 70%. So the sale price. After a 30% price reduction, you purchase a new computer for $840. That is the sale price. $840 is, was, will be, is going to be, is equal to, is the sum of. The verb phrase is the equal sign. 70%, once again, 70% is a rate. Change it to a number, 0.7. Of means multiply. Out of means divide. Of what? The original price. Let P be the original price. So this is the equation we need to solve. We need to divide both sides by 0.7. Please anticipate what the answer should be. Our sale price has to be less than our original price. So $840 divided by 0.7 is P equals $1,200. The original price of the computer before the 30% price reduction was $1,200. Last problem. The length of a rectangular basketball court is 44 feet more than its width. If the perimeter of the basketball court is 288 feet, what are the dimensions? So once again, reading. Length is 44 feet more than what? The width. We're going to write an equation. I'll also draw us a diagram. Length is 44 feet more than the width. Length is width plus 44. The width is just W. Next, the perimeter is 288 feet. P is 288. That's all the given information that is directly from the words. Now, take what you know, what is true about perimeter. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2L plus 2W. So let's use substitution now. P is 288. 2 times L. Everywhere we see L, we're going to plug in W plus 44 plus 2W. And now we just need to solve. And honestly, it'll be easier if we first come through and divide everything by 2. It'll make all those numbers smaller. So 288 divided by 2 is 144. 2's cancel, we get W plus 44. And then 2's cancel, we get W. So 144 equals W plus 44 plus W. Combine like terms. And solve. Minus 44, minus 44. 100 equals 2W. So if 100 equals 2W, divide by 2, work this way. W equals 50. What are the dimensions? Don't just stop at the width, go for the length. The length is the width plus 44, 50 plus 44. That is 94. The length is 94, the width is 50, and that is a recap of your last 2 days of class.